As you first begin looking at a chapter or section of a book that teaches concepts of science or maths, it helps to take a picture walk through the chapter, glancing not only at the graphics, diagrams, and photos, but also at the section headings, summary, and even questions at the end of the chapter. This seems counterintuitive. You haven't actually read the chapter yet, but it helps prime your mental pump. So go ahead now and glance through this chapter and the questions at the end of the chapter. You'll be surprised at how spending a minute or two glancing ahead before you read in depth will help you organize your thoughts. You're creating little neural hooks to hang your thinking on, making it easier to grasp the concepts. Focused versus diffuse thinking. Since the very beginning of the 21st century, neuroscientists have been making profound advances in understanding the two different types of networks that the brain switches between: highly attentive states and more relaxed resting state networks. We'll call the thinking processes related to these two different types of networks the focused mode and the diffuse mode, respectively. These modes are highly important for learning. It seems you frequently switch back and forth between these two modes in your day to day activities. You're in either one mode or the other, not consciously in both at the same time. The diffuse mode does seem to be able to work quietly in the background on something you are not actively focusing on. Sometimes you may also flicker for a rapid moment to diffuse mode thinking. Focused mode thinking is essential for studying maths and science also. It involves a direct approach to solving problems using rational, sequential, and analytical approaches. The focused mode is associated with concentrating abilities of the brain's prefrontal cortex, located right behind your forehead. Turn your attention to something, and bam, the focused mode is on, like the tight, penetrating beam of a flashlight. Diffused mode thinking is also essential for learning maths and science. It allows us to suddenly gain a new insight on a problem we've been struggling with and is associated with big picture perspective. Diffused mode thinking is what happens when you relax your attention and just let your mind wander. This relaxation can allow different areas of the brain to hook up and return valuable insights. Imagine a pinball machine which has a lot of thin plates. From one of the corners of the machine, the pinball is released, and like a chain of reactions, the pinball travels by collisions from one plate to the other. Here, the plates are like neurons, and then pinball is just a thought of the concept you are trying to learn. So, in the focused mode, the plates are numerous, which means that it will take much time to grasp the thought into the mind, as the collision of the pinball will retard it very fast. Whereas in the diffused mode, the plates are apart and less in numbers, so it will not take much energy to travel throughout the brain. For example, you can use the focused mode to multiply numbers. If you already know how to multiply, that is, if you're studying a language, you might use the focused mode to become more fluent with the Spanish verb conjugation you learned last week. If you are a swimmer, you might use the focused mode to analyze your breath stroke as you practice staying low to allow more energy to go into your forward motion. When you focus on something, the consciously attentive prefrontal cortex automatically sends out signals along neural pathways. These signals link different areas of your brain related to what you're thinking about. This process is a little like an octopus. that sends its tentacles to different areas of its surrounding to fiddle with whatever it's working on. The octopus has only so many tentacles to make connections, just as your working memory has only so many things it can hold at once. So observe the picture carefully. That how the focused mode is going to make the thought travel throughout the neurons until it meets the specific neuron which carry the solution of the problem. Another way to think of the difference between focused and diffused mode is to think of a flashlight. You can set a flashlight so it has a tightly focused beam that can penetrate deeply into a small area. Or you can set the flashlight onto a more diffused setting where it casts its light broadly but not very strongly in any one area. Let's take a problem to understand the shifting of these two particular modes of thinking. In the picture, there is a triangle made by arranging the coins. You need to arrange the coins such that the triangle appears upside down. The rule is you can only move 3 of the coins to solve the problem. Try to run towards decent dopamine. If you feel stressed or burdened while studying, get a cold shower. Start running or go for a walk. Meditate or pray, or the best of all, sleep to make yourself comfortable with what you've learned.